So since I've done all this stuff on 7828, I figured I'd actually do a yesterday's watch review today. I've done one before on this model, but you know, it's been a few years. Let's look at one again. It's a fantastic design. I'm sort of getting backwards here, but for me, it starts and ends with sort of this beautiful machinist look of it. I mean, the bezel turning, the way that that's done, the grip, it's just so cool. It's just beautifully done, and the proportions are just exquisite. And it's all topped off by this gorgeous matte finish, my favorite finish from Seiko. And it matches. You'll notice the hands, the silver hands, and everything else like that. Same exact finish. So it has this, you know, montage, you know, of different features tied together by just that little detail. I don't know. I just think it's a really, really crazy, beautiful model. I thought we could look at a few things. It's a good wearable size too. I think I got myself figured out here. .6. It's a really good size too, a good wrist size. 40 millimeters is, for reference, is a Submariner size. So a real decent man-sized diver. It seems, you know, especially when these were starting to become more popular again in the, you know, in the aughts and the teens, watches then were gigantic, and so these seem kind of small, but I really think they're a perfect wrist size. I really do. And since I'm here, we're digging around, talking about 7As. Figured we could pull a few out. The gold here, it doesn't have a battery in it. I pulled the battery a long time ago. So you got 1, 2, 3 are running. This one is not, so pretend that's different. But look at the kaleidoscope of stuff that they could do with a 7A and get all this functionality. The only one I'm not showing here is a 7A38, which is date 8. This is 7A28-7040 moon phase. These are really cool. Enameled dials. It's a really elegant watch. Seiko was doing this like age of discovery thing where it's like they had, you know, all this modern tech, but they wanted to make it look like, you know, like age of seafaring, and that's where they sort of came up with the aesthetic for this. This was in really nice condition too. I'd show you this one doing its stuff, but this is the silver version of this 7A28-7000. This is 7A28-6000. The silver version of this is a Bond watch. This is the gold version, and these you can find they're still really affordable. And this is a absolute top of the line 15 jewel quartz. I mean, unbelievably insane value for money these days. Here's this one. This one's fun. You know, people talk about the new Pogue reissues, right? The Solars. How's this thing for a Pogue reissue? You know, they didn't do the hand colors the same, but, you know, going to a 3-register format, I think it's a reasonable choice. So there's your quartz Pogue right there. I'm really glad I own this. This is a cool watch. This is a really neat watch. I hope I continue to love it as I always have. I hope that it just always stays with me. I just think it's neat. Any case, so let's see. What did we determine? 40.60. 11.6, was it? 10.6. 10.6. It's not too tall. Fits under a cuff, but it has some wrist presence for absolute sure. These lugs, 25.5. The bracelets are these tight pieces. This being JDM has the JDM clasp on it, the Speedtimer clasp, which you can see right there. It's interesting, at least I think it's interesting. These are the removable links. For some reason, the removable links are thicker than the non-removable links. That's not something I see real often. In fact, I don't ever recall seeing that before. This is an early one. It was made in December 1982. They started being made in November 1982. The 7As generally started being made at that time. So this is an early piece. These things, they're really special pieces. They're really special pieces, especially with the tech that goes in them. And seeing as I just went and actually, fully serviced this one, I got a chance very recently to experience, doing the work on one. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to do one more thing. I wanted to do a weigh-in. Okay, so let's go like this. You ready? Let's do this thing. All the screaming and crying that you're hearing is Willow getting her hair brushed. This is ounces. Unsurprisingly, 3.47. I don't know how that compares to anything else. I'd be lying if I said I did. 3.47, 3.16, 3 on the nose, 2.91. Unsurprisingly, the least bulky watch has the least amount of weight. In conclusion, 7As generally are great, wonderful value for the money, and the 7A28-7040 is just a classic among them. Just a classic among them, using the tried and true, Omega Speedtimer dial layout. Some people call them a sort of a rip-off of that, but underneath the hood, they're absolutely completely different. The world's first analog quartz chronograph. Underneath the hood, this thing was an absolute marvel of engineering and ingenuity, doing what it could do, as accurate as it could do it, and still look like this. It's an achievement. It's really an achievement. Okay. Well, that's about it. Okay, good night.